It's Wednesday, April 9th. Tariff response. Canada's 25% counter tariffs on U.S. imported vehicles not compliant with CUSMA are now in effect. These come in response to U.S. tariffs on all foreign-made cars.
We have a lot of countries coming to see us that want to make a deal, and we're doing things that nobody's ever even thought about.
USA versus the world. President Trump's global tariffs are in effect, and China is taking a heavy blow from a 104% tariff.
No one is being forced to be vaccinated, but you do need to comply with the law.
Vaccination crackdown. Students in Toronto without up-to-date records are being given 20-day suspensions.
Oh my gosh, this is like Christmas, you know? It's paradise on earth.
Some are enjoying a spring blast of winter that forced people in parts of Ontario and Quebec to bust out their shovels and snowblowers again. Stay with us, Canada. Your morning starts right now. Good morning, Canada. Welcome to Your Morning. I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Teddy Wilson, in for Lindsey Deluce.
And I'm Kelsey McEwen. Hope your Wednesday is off to a great start. Teddy, great to have you.
Oh, thanks. It's good to be back.
Fresh from vacay.
Oh, yeah. I did go on vacay. I was in Lyon, France. My partner was working there for a month, so I visited her for a week. And then I went on a little Teddy solo adventure for 6 days to Vienna, Austria.
Ooh.
It was really cool. I love history, so
Yeah,
I did like a lot of history walking tours. And it was just a really cool city. I'd never been.
Speaking of traveling, so Lindsay's not in Vienna, but she is out in St. John. She's working for the show. She's on assignment. The show's going to be live from there in a couple of days. So she's there gathering some stories today, which we'll be looking forward to seeing.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait to see that. All right. Well, welcome to this Wednesday. Let's turn to some of the top news stories we're following for you today. Beginning with Canada's response to those 25% auto tariffs brought by U.S. President Donald Trump. The response is now in effect.
If there's any silver lining in all this, it's that it's giving us some cause and some motivation to look internally and say, okay, where might there be some cost savings, some efficiencies to be gained?
So Canada's tariffs charge an extra 25% tax on non-CUSMA compliant vehicles imported from the United States. It also charges 25% tariffs on non-Canadian, non-Mexican content of CUSMA compliant vehicles. The measures were announced last week after Trump introduced 25% tariffs on Canadian vehicles. Trump also promised another 25% tariff on some Canadian auto parts. That would start May 3rd. The tariffs on Canadian-made vehicles will be reduced based on their American-made content. Most vehicles assembled in Ontario plants have about 50% U.S. content. U.S. global tariffs are now in effect as well, including a 104% charge against China. President Trump is showing no signs of backing down.
China's paying a 104% tariff. Think of it, 104%. Now, it sounds ridiculous, but they charged us for many items 100%.
That 104% tariff kicked in after Beijing refused to pull retaliatory measures against the U.S. China is one of the 60 countries dealing with new retaliatory tariffs as of this morning. Some of the other countries being hardest hit include Vietnam and Cambodia. Those countries make products like cell phones, clothing, and running shoes, the price of which could go up dramatically for consumers in the United States. Beijing this morning has issued its first response since the tariffs kicked in. China accusing the U.S. of bullying practices, but also expressed a willingness to resolve this, quote, friction. As new U.S. tariffs kick in, markets are responding with another sell-off. Stocks, bonds, and oil are all down as of this morning. Most Asian markets closed in the red, while markets in Europe are slumping. One industry feeling the pain especially this morning, pharmaceuticals. This after President Trump repeated his plans for tariffs on drug imports at a Republican dinner last night. After an up-and-down day yesterday on Wall Street, Dow futures are down slightly this morning, while NASDAQ futures are up. So rally sizes are becoming a talking point on the campaign trail in this Canadian federal election campaign.
How many people do you think we had last night?
Thousands.
Well, that's pretty obvious. I think you can be more precise than that.
I don't, I mean, the party said 10,000 registered, there's reports of 15. I really can't say.
One last question. When was the last time we had a rally that big in Canada?
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre there having a back and forth about his rally crowd size in Edmonton on Monday. On policy, Poilievre took direct aim at Liberal leader Mark Carney Tuesday, saying he'll close off offshore tax loopholes. The Conservatives have criticized Carney for using offshore tax havens during his time as chair of Brookfield Asset Management. Carney maintains he's always followed the rules.
And Premier Smith agreed. And I thought at the time, when's the last time the premiers agreed about anything, aside from they hate the federal government?
Liberal leader Mark Carney there saying on Tuesday that he believes Canada can be an energy superpower in both clean and conventional energy. He also joked about finding common ground with premiers on removing interprovincial trade barriers in response to U.S. tariffs.
Homes in Canada should be for you and your family, not for rich investors to get richer.
Meanwhile, in British Columbia Tuesday, NDP leader Jagmeet Singh promised a ban on foreign investors in Canadian housing and tougher rules to stop house flipping. Housing is a hot campaign issue, with nearly half of Canadians saying they're very concerned about housing affordability. Well, some students in Toronto without up-to-date vaccination records are being suspended from school.
Among these 21 schools, about 1,300 students were initially assessed, and 87% have been caught up, compared to less than 25% when we started this in January.
Toronto Public Health says about 10,000 students are not up to date. A first group of 173 grade 11 students have been given a 20-day suspension. To go back, students have to update their records, get vaccinated, or provide a valid exemption. This all comes as Ontario is dealing with rising cases of measles. Suspension orders will keep rolling out across Toronto high schools until May. Officials in Quebec say they're seeing a recent rise of asylum seekers coming into the province, with protection for hundreds of migrants in the U.S. about to expire. 557 asylum seekers showed up at the Lacolle border crossing that's south of Montreal during the first week of April. That's almost equal to the number of claimants in January. Many of the people crossing the border from Haiti. They were protected under a Biden administration program that's about to expire on April 24th. Overall, asylum claims in Quebec are down this year compared to last, but officials say there could be a jump in the months ahead. Quebec says it's reached its capacity to accept asylum seekers. Well, a spring snowstorm in Ontario and Quebec had people searching for their winter jackets.
I lost it, unfortunately. I didn't think I'd need it for any time soon this spring. Thought I'd have till next year, but here we are.
This guy in Ottawa lost his coat. Bad timing, my friend. People in Ottawa woke up to 11 centimeters of thick, heavy snow Tuesday, and it fell pretty much all day. Police in the city say that by noon alone, there had been 50 car crashes reported, with city officials saying a complicating factor in Tuesday's storm was the wind, making whiteout conditions and drifting snow prevalent. At one point, a downed wire also caused more than 4,000 customers to lose hydro, though that's since been restored. Bad news, though, there's more snow on the way later this week, and Kelsey has some of those details coming up. A Windsor area man is giving us a look into a world we rarely see.
It's kind of hard to say what was going on in the house because screech owls are elusive and most of their time they're nocturnal. So after that, we decided, well, to get more of what's going on, we decided, well, probably put a camera inside the house.
It is. We're talking about the world of owls. That's Chris Jacobson, who first saw a screech owl in his yard about 6 years ago. So naturally, he made an owl house, as you do. He then set up a camera to broadcast from inside the house, and it really took off during the early days of the pandemic. Today, that one camera has grown into 6. 2 inside the nest and 4 more positioned around the yard. I love that he's got a whole outdoor TV studio.
It's like Big Brother, but with animals.
I didn't think of that. That's so bang on.